Water is the lifeblood of our planet. It connects everything and everyone. I feel that the ocean and this bay needed an ode. Oh, sweet water, you are the one that holds us together and lets the rivers run. While this area is beautiful, it is fragile. There are animals that are on the brink of extinction. The whales that use this area are finding less and less salmon. So conservation is absolutely key. I'm just so grateful for the Marine Science Center and just getting kids and adults interested in protecting the Salish Sea.
I love animals. I care a lot for them. I really love how the Marine Science Center takes care of these animals.
So Eleonora is super smart. And so when we give her food, instead of just handing her food, we like to give it to her in some sort of thing. Instead of using the tips of her tentacles like fingers, she actually uses her suckers more like fingers.
I know. I get to learn lots of new things about water animals. They are really interesting. I just adore how they live. Even though I know that they're bigger octopuses, that's the cutest I've ever seen.
In earlier days at the Marine Science Center, I remember being so proud that we were training all the students in Jefferson County, providing a strong foundation in marine science.
We have to take better care.
Yeah, we have to take better care of our oceans and our air.
In addition to preparing and training youth, we started to grow the citizen science programs more. The citizen science piece is the one that really dovetails with the conservation. I think when people start doing citizen science, they just care more. They talk about it more.
What'd you find?
Good Sudanese.
Some Sudanesia.
It becomes part of their new dialect.
The importance is to know what phytoplankton we have, but in particular those that can cause dangerous shellfish poisoning.
You have to have science, and that's why the Marine Science Center is so important. We have so far to go in learning what balances out this place we call the Salish Sea now. What creates that balance? Where do we have to get to?
After centuries and millennia of human activity, the Earth and the oceans have serious problems. As we face accelerating ocean and atmospheric warming, professional scientists are struggling to make sense of how quickly and how broadly the changes are occurring. I personally have found an amelioration in becoming involved in citizen science projects.
This sea star wasting epidemic is one of the largest disease epidemics ever recorded in the intertidal.
The Marine Science Center at Fort Worden has one of the longest running citizen science programs in the United States. The center works with other ecological organizations not only to gather data, but to awaken citizens to the reality of environmental concerns and to encourage rational, observation-based thought processes.
Another lesion on the arm here. Looks like it's deteriorating very rapidly.
Citizen science is something everyone can do.
I find the natural world to be this very restorative place. It's almost a spiritual experience to go out into the natural world. My dad, Jim Whittaker, is a mountain climber. My mom, Diane Roberts, is a photographer. They spent a lot of their lives being involved in the natural world and advocating for it. So I grew up with that. It's always been a part of my life. They took my brother and I to the Marine Science Center from a very young age. one of the very few places in Port Townsend that you could go to learn about science in a really detailed, hands-on way. And I started to get really excited about that. I was really interested in becoming a docent as well. What was so encouraging about my time at the Marine Science Center is that they were giving volunteers the power and the trust to do this incredibly important stuff. The fact that as a young boy I could go out there and be doing real science, that was so cool.
So these mussels are serving as an early warning system for shellfish poisoning.
Citizen science gives me a little bit of hope for humanity in a sense, because they're saying ordinary people can do this world-changing thing.
And these will go to the Washington State Department of Health, and they will be doing the analysis at their labs. And they take samples from all over the Sound. Fort Worden is one of those sites.
I ended up in archaeology partly because of the Marine Science Center, and they're encouraging me to study science. I work in Eastern Indonesia, studying boundaries between cultures, the interaction between the natural world, things like climate change, trade patterns, settlement patterns, and so on. The Aru Islands are still a spectacular natural place, but that's not going to last for very long. There's a huge amount of single-use plastics that are coming into this culture that's not really used to having to think very hard about disposing of garbage. Most of what they had to throw away was biodegradable. But now that's changing because the plastic doesn't just disappear, it doesn't biodegrade. The birds eat the plastic, fish eat the plastic. That continuum between nature and culture is really the defining problem of the modern world.
Conservation is a very long-term commitment. The Marine Science Center will always make room for people who want to come in and use their hands and use their minds to learn about where we live and to help protect it, to build their personal connection, and to learn to make independent choices about their role as citizens of the Salish Sea. Once you do it, it becomes part of your thread, part of your fabric, and you know that you want to share it.